Brand new Fox News poll shows President Biden leading in the presidential race for the first time since October. And it comes just as Biden is set to leave for Camp David and begin his prep for next week's CNN presidential debate. Kaylee McGhee White is the editor of Restoring America at the Washington Examiner and a Steamboat Institute Blankley Fellow. And she joins me now. Kaylee, should Trump be worried by those numbers?
I don't think so. He's gained a lot of ground over the past few months, and sure, they're going to go back and forth over the next few months, but this debate is a huge opportunity for him to solidify his recent gains and really gain some more ground over Biden. We all know that Biden is going to struggle in this debate, and the only question is how much.
And we do need to remember, this is an overall number. It doesn't necessarily focus on the swing states. And quite frankly, those 7 states that are in purple right now are all that really matter. Now, while Biden is hunkered down prepping, like you mentioned, it's not like Trump is sitting here drinking milkshakes. He's prepping as well. What advice would you give to Donald J. Trump as he preps for this debate?
I think the advice is twofold. The first is let Biden talk. Everyone has their own suspicions about Biden's mental capacity at this point. Let Biden confirm those suspicions. And we all know that he will, especially if he's expected to think on his feet, to give lengthy policy answers, and to rebut Trump's points. And the second thing is that when Trump does talk, he should focus specifically on policy. One of the mistakes that he made back in 2020 when he debated Biden was he got too personal, he rambled on at length, and he continued to interrupt. Now, we know that that last point is not going to be as big of a concern this time around because the rules are different. But if Trump remains focused on the policy, he's going to appeal more directly to the swing voters. I think about my own generation of young voters. The latest New York Times poll shows that Biden is up by just 2 points among Gen Z voters. There is a huge opportunity here for Trump to appeal to them on the grounds of policy.
Let's head more into the Ute vote, to borrow from Joe Pesci. The new Fox News poll shows voters under 30 years old favor Biden over Trump by 8 points, a little bit different than the New York Times. Of course, you're talking about Gen Z. This is under 30 in general. But back in 2020, our Fox News voter analysis found Biden won that group by 25 points. So you can see, if you compare these two, Trump is really chipping away at Biden. So do you expect Trump to further chip away at Biden's lead with the young people, especially, Kaylee, to your point, if he focuses on the policy a week from today?
I do, and it all comes back down to the issues. If you break down these polls, when young voters are asked specifically about the issues that they care about and which candidate best aligns with their positions on these issues, they almost always choose Trump. And they're just like older voters in that they care a lot about inflation. They care a lot about the economy in general. They care a lot about illegal immigration. So when Trump is heading into this debate, there's going to be a lot of temptation to give in to Biden's personal attacks. Biden's going to call him a convicted felon. And you know what Trump should do? He should remind young voters and all other voters that Biden just let 8 suspected terrorists across his wide-open southern border. Biden's going to go on at length about Trump's role in the January 6th Capitol riot. You want to know what Trump should do? He should remind voters what the economy was like before Biden took office. Keeping a really narrow focus on the issues that voters care about is the best way to make a good standing in this debate.
Look, there's definitely going to be a juxtaposition on the issues, but boy, oh boy, is there going to be a juxtaposition on these two individuals' ability to communicate 1 week from today. Kaylee McGhee White, thank you so much. We appreciate your insight. Carly?
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.